Hello, Falcons. It's another Friday. It's December, and that means it's time for another blast. I hope you are having an amazing week after our nice long Thanksgiving break. If you recall, before the break, we ended it with a little bit of fun with our Renaissance celebrations and Falcon Fun Days. I want to give Mr. Joe Jackson another shout out for designing our Olympic mini games for that day. I want to give a shout out to our Renaissance team who did just a phenomenal job of determining what awards our kids would receive and the competitions that our kids could participate in, or the drawings, I really should say. That was super fun. I also want to give a shout out to Laura Frisch and Becky Veneman, who led bleacher games this time. That was something new and it really went well. So I know I had a lot of fun competing in those competitions. It looked like you did as well, and so did our students. It was a win-win for everybody, and looking forward to our next Falcon Fun Day, which will be on our early release day, December 19th. So thank you again for your participation and everybody that was involved in our Renaissance Falcon Fun Day. I'd also like to give a shout out to Michelle Boyer and Kristen Engel. They received Board of Education awards last night at the board meeting. I loved getting to be there to celebrate with them. And thanks to all of our Falcon friends who also joined us to be in their corner and cheer for them as they cross the stage and receive their awards. Awesome, awesome. Next up, some learning. I am loving the cooperative learning that I'm seeing happening in your classes. And I wanted to show you just some snapshots of a bunch of pictures that I took as I'm seeing this cooperative learning in action. I had one from Miss Brinkley's 7th grade math class, one from Dr. McGee's 6th grade social studies class. I saw it in Laura Frisch's 8th grade ELA class. I saw it in Miss Sarah Jones' 7th grade ELA class. I'm just seeing these structures happening all throughout our building. And the commonalities that I'm seeing with these cooperative learning structures is, first of all, they are structured. It is never about, okay, here's this assignment, find a partner, and just as you work on your assignment, you're welcome to chat with a partner. They are intentional about building student to student learning and student to student critical thinking. And they are using specific strategies to group students. It's hard to see, but in the picture from Miss Brinkley, I circled that she's got a number on her table. And in that particular instance, it was a number 10. So she groups her students each week differently with playing cards. And all of the students that have the same card and suit have to become partners for that week. She also has a larger playing card up next to every vertical whiteboard in her classroom so that the students know that is where their group will go each time they are on vertical whiteboards, and then they will return back to their seat after using the vertical whiteboards to begin some specific partner work with that group for that week. That's just one example of many, guys, and how some of our staff members are intentionally structuring groups and the learning that happens in the classroom. The other thing that I'm seeing is a great use of timers, that we're using timers to say, hey, you're going to have this discussion with your partner for the next minute. And I want the person who is the tallest to go first, or I want the person whose birthday is closest to today to go first. Those are quick and simple ways to add structure to the conversation. The next piece I'm seeing is that many of us are being very intentional about, after we allow kids to think on their own, then discuss either with a small group or partners, that we're using random selection methods in our classroom to allow kids the opportunity to share out. And we're also saying to kids, you can share out something that you provided, information you shared with your group, or something you learned. And then you're using Pick a Stick, you've got various computer applications that you're using, or you are saying, okay, person number 4 in each group stand up, and that person will be the individual to share this time around. All of those random selection groups help you to get more voices in your classroom. It increases the thinking that is happening around learning structures in your classroom, and it adds a level of accountability that all students need to be contributing to the conversation, and all students need to be listening to one another as part of that learning structure. And so you're doing all of those things when you randomize how students are able to share out with the group. I mean, these have been really intentionally built. Please talk with any of those individuals about how they are engaging kids in cooperative learning, because the last piece I want to share with you is it is just super clear and evident that the kids in those classrooms are used to engaging in cooperative learning, because all that needed to happen in those classes is that the teachers would share the structure and the kids immediately engaged in the learning. And so when you do that consistently, your students will become used to that practice and they will respond as such. And so awesome job to all of you and the growth I'm seeing with this strategy. The next one I want to share is around assessment capable learning. And I know that this isn't the best picture. So if you want more information, please reach out to Miss Kimberly Meisey, 8th grade science teacher. The first thing I loved about this is that she engaged all kids. She used class time to have her kids complete the test, correction, and reflection. And she stressed to them that she saw some errors and some mistakes on that test, which led her to believe it was super important for everyone to go back and improve the results, especially since there were some essential skills on that test that she knew kids needed to master. And that's the first thing that her kids have to do when they are completing their test corrections. They look at each question and they have to highlight the question on this document that you see there. And what you'll notice about the questions, Miss Meisey has them listed by standard. So kids can see immediately which standard is an area of strength and which standard is an area where they need support and growth. The next thing she does is she has them determine what is the correct answer to this. So she's not giving them the correct answers. They're having to find the correct answers and then share evidence of where they found that correct answer. Did they find it in a text? Did they find it in possibly one of the videos that they watched in class, or in their notes that they took, or was it a part of an experiment? So she has them sharing evidence as to where that correct answer was found throughout that unit. The next thing that she is doing is having them list the answer that was incorrect and then share their thoughts and reasons for where they went wrong. What was it about their reasoning or their thoughts that made them select or choose a different answer? And then last but not least, what's going to change the next time? So what is their goal, instructional goal for that next unit? And what will they do differently to prepare? Or what do they need help with? So is there a particular standard that you're noticing is you've got a pattern of questions in that standard that you're struggling with? And how might you work through that? Is that something you need to visit Miss Meisey during academic lab for support or homeroom? It's just such a great structure that engages kids in critical thinking about the assessment. And once again, I love that she told her kids, every single one of you has to do this. This is that important. And when we're talking about essential skills, that's why they're essential. They really are that important. So she knocked it out of the park, and please check with her. I know we've got some other individuals in the building that are also using a test assessment, correction structure and reflection that are very similar to this. So continue to reach out. And if you want more support with that, in addition to Miss Meisey, you're happy, you can certainly bring that up in your PLT with Lisa Young as well.
Don't you forget about me.
Now getting into some reminders for next week and beyond. Remember, our Winter Funderland starts on Monday. It really makes me laugh because I know some of you guys have already been working on your theme with your kids during advisory, but you will have your advisory starting Monday all the way through Wednesday, December 18th. Wednesday, December 18th is when all things need to be completed because that's when the judging will occur, especially for that door decoration. I encourage you to look at the Monday memo to make sure that you have all of the details for Winter Funderland, as well as that scoring guide for how we will score your door decorations. That is super important. And the holiday dress theme as well. Next piece. Back to that. Remember, since we'll be in advisories during that time, we will not have academic lab. However, you're going to see that there is a bonus area that is added to Winter Funderland this year. And that bonus area is to encourage every single kid in your advisory to have all work completed and to retake any tests. So we still want that to be a huge emphasis, that kids are retaking assignments as needed, getting the support as needed, so that they are prepared for the end of the semester. Moving on to hot chocolate. All right, Miss Murphy's class, her first hour class will be selling hot chocolate, donuts, and cookies, I believe, in the morning on Thursday and Friday. I just can't say enough about the way Liz Murphy structures this and how she helps kids to create an authentic business plan model and then to execute it. There aren't many places that do that, guys, and Liz does it seamlessly. This is such a great critical thinking and authentic problem solving opportunity for our kids. And they evaluate the results afterwards and reflect on what they could have done differently to improve. Again, I just can't say enough about this model. Talk to Liz about it because this is a great problem solving activity that she engages her kids in. And again, super real world. But if you want to participate in that, feel free to bring some money, include or encourage your kids to do so that they can get some hot chocolate on Thursday or Friday next week. And next, remember the Scholastic Book Fair is going to be happening in our library all of next week. Our ELA teachers, I believe you received a schedule from Miss Rankin so that you can bring your students to the library, and they are welcome to purchase books and items from our book fair anytime next week when they visit the library. Last but not least, because we will have an early release day on that last Thursday, December 19th, we need to start preparing for that by having our students complete the early release day lunch form. You're going to be able to find that form on the counselor's Canvas page starting on Monday. And during advisory, you can do it Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, but we need it completed by Wednesday. Please have your students take a look at that. It helps us to know how many lunches we need to account for and which type we can expect, which type of food items we can expect kids to want to have on that day. That way our cafeteria staff can adequately prepare for that lunch, and we'll make sure that we have everything ready for our kids on that last day. Woo! All right, staff, my goodness, I know I had a lot to share with you. There's a lot of excitement about the teaching and learning that is happening in this building. You guys are knocking it out of the park. I love being in your classrooms. I'm excited to do it all again next week. I hope you have a restful weekend. If I see you at the volleyball game tomorrow, hope you can make it. We're looking forward to seeing our kids do just a super amazing job. And thanks to our coaches who have committed a ton of time and energy in working with and preparing our kids for this event. Once again, have some rest. Can't wait to see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.
middle school.